I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. I smack my girl's ass, tell her pinch me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. Danny G and Jimmer tonight to get the party started, man. This trade deadline has been crazy, especially today.
Is it just me, or did it feel like it was the NBA trade deadline? Yeah. You know how crazy that 24-hour period is? Always,
yeah.
That's what the first thing I thought of when I seen all these, and there's big names going. There's just all kinds of crazy shit going on right now. I'm glad to see it because I always thought the NFL was pretty conservative in trading players and picks. We saw this at the beginning of the season, before the season, and off season.
Yeah.
Trading picks, trading quarterbacks, trading this, that, and the other, right? So, but I thought it would just be that short little stint. All of a sudden, people were...
Yeah, big names, like you said, too.
Yeah.
Not just little piddly shit, a lot of big things. Man, it's been great. I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. We'll roll with some basketball, too, first to get that out of the way. Steve Nash and the Nets have mutually parted ways after a chaotic tenure. Jock Vaughn will be the interim coach. Before we get to the second phase of this story... What do you think when you think Steve Nash and the Nets? What's the first, or what are some thoughts that just come across your head?
I think he was thankful to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I heard a conversation earlier where they talked about before the season even started, he was like, man, I kind of want to go back to playing tennis every day because this drama over here, especially with the Nets, is insane. And, they voiced it. They didn't want him there anyway. They would do post-practice practices with just the players, things like that. So he was going to be gone, but I think it's a win-win for everybody because he didn't want to be there anymore, man. And I don't know that he was a great coach necessarily. I don't know if he got a fair shake either, but
I'm with you. See, that one's a little tough because I'm with you all the way through on this, and that is. But I don't know if he's a good coach either, or if he isn't. That's a tough situation. Did you really get to coach? Did you really get to bring in your system? Did you really get to run what you think would be best? The few things that I do remember is that playoff series and not being able to call out of bounds plays. He's one of the worst. Creating a play out of bounds, that's where some coaches separate themselves, right? To create a shot out of the inbounds play. Doc Rivers is maybe the reason why he still has a job because the dude can get a shot off out of his.
Agreed.
So I'm curious. I don't know if he's gonna go back to ever coaching again. Maybe it was too much. He didn't realize how much goes into it. But hopefully he doesn't give up. If it's something he wants to do, I hope it's not something he's just done with altogether. Then maybe go do some college or something like that, and you don't have two of the biggest egos in the NBA.
Exactly, man. He even when he was in his prime, and I think he won back-to-back MVPs, right?
Yes.
He didn't have the ego of any of these guys.
No.
So it's gonna be tough to even want to fight that battle for him. I don't know if he comes back. That's such a bad taste in your mouth, and I don't blame him.
Well, the first one, could he actually have been arrogant or cocky though? Because he probably shouldn't have taken it from Shaq.
Or that one year was Kobe. Yeah. So I think it was Shaq first year, second year was Kobe, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe he's like, hey, tough. Thank you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? But to continue on with that, suspended Celtics coach Ime Udoka has emerged as the favorite, and sources say Celtics would part with him after inappropriate relationship with subordinate that got him a season-long team suspension. The reason why I emphasize team, Danny, is they're saying this could happen within the first 24 to 48 hours here, and he would be eligible to coach right when he walks in the door.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to happen, really, right? It kind of wild to me because he just took that team to the NBA Finals last year.
Yeah.
I know there's some personal stuff. Maybe they have more inside information to know, be willing to do that, but whew, holy shit.
Able to part with it that way. He what does it do for the Nets if he comes in? He's a defensive-minded coach too. That can also. Do you think that the two main cogs in this, and then the mental head case that is Ben Simmons, do you think they'd be able to wrap their mind around playing for him and listening to him? Because there's some egos in the Celtics locker room too.
Yeah, those egos are different. It's a totally different level, though, man. I don't know. I guess I haven't heard how much they do or don't respect Ime. They're still going to do their own thing. And if they fail, it's not going to be on them. It's going to be on the coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good answer. I'll say I don't know if he's accomplished enough to have, earned their respect. It's not like a Phil Jackson coming in, right?
No.
And you're like, yep, I'll do what you say. We'll buy into the system and everything. I don't know about that. Maybe he'll bring some better defense to the team, but
I don't know. I don't know if there is such a thing anymore anyway, Danny. There really, what coach is walking in any door that is coaching right now that would do it for anybody? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm kind of getting at? That like, no matter what the team is, they're commanding their attention, and they would just know because the aura or whatever. I don't know if there is one. I mean, wherever Doc Rivers has been, for instance, I've talked about that too. Their teams kind of crumble around them, and they don't show the mass amount of respect. If Ben Simmons can lip off to him, I mean, I don't know how many coaches are. Pop? Oh, Pop. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Right?
Yep, that's my bad. Didn't even think about that.
He
Outside of Pop,
one.
though.
Yeah, he might be the one.
Right? Not even Mike. That's
their
one
egos
dude you're
are
listening
so
to.
big.
Yeah.
They think they know better. They think they can play better than the coach. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah. No, I didn't. God, I can't believe I kind of laid that one up for you. Old Poppy. But that's almost cheating. We talked about this. Pop is on the exact same level as Mr. Phil Jackson, your guy, right?
He is, yeah.
So that one's almost like borderline cheating. That's like saying Phil Jackson when I try to get you out of that conversation by saying a current coach.
Touche.
Cheater.
Yeah, he's a current coach. But,
right, true that. Let's get to these crazy NFL trades. The Dolphins trade for Broncos linebacker Bradley Chubb and for 49ers running back Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson's rejoining his running mate down there, Raheem Mostert.
And his old coach.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bradley Chubb comes into, I do believe, if I looked correctly, the 27th ranked pass rush defense. So, and he has 5.5 sacks currently, so he led the team before he had departed. If I do have this up here, there's a lot that went into this, by the way, these two trades. So, the Dolphins, so for the Dolphins one, for Bradley Chubb and the Broncos, it was a package that included a 2023 first-round pick that was the 49ers in the first place. So let's not try to confuse it too much, but Miami had the 49ers pick anyways. They gave it to the Broncos. They sent Chase Edmonds up to Denver in a 2024 fourth-rounder and 2025 fifth-round selection. The Jeff Wilson one, there was like a fifth-round pick involved or something like that. So, but then Broncos went and grabbed Jacob Martin, defensive end from the New York Jets, to help replace Chubb too. So,
oh yeah, because that's comparable.
Right.
The fuck out of here. This man was all world, dude. He's so good.
Yeah.
That's why it's a big surprise to me, because you're not getting enough, at least immediate impact.
Yeah.
Especially your defense is best in the league, top 3 in the league, however you want to look at it, and you're getting rid of a huge piece of that. What the hell? I don't like it for the Broncos for sure. I like Chase Edmonds going there, and I know I just saw that the Broncos said he's going to be their third down back, which is okay. I don't know how high you are on Chase Edmonds, but he's better than both of the running backs that are left there. He's better than Latavius. He's better than Melvin Gordon.
Yes.
So he's going to be our third down back. Oh, is that what he's going to be?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like,
I feel like Chase Edmonds just doesn't get a fair shake wherever he's going. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost like Philip Lindsay. We talked about that.
Yes.
Chase Edmonds he doesn't get the opportunity to run it 18 times consistently. When he does, the dude balls out. I don't understand what the problem is. Like, he isn't quite flashy enough. Is that what the problem is? But he just does his job?
Yeah.
I'm confused. There's so many questions I have for you in this because there's so many things to break down.
Yeah.
Does this clear cut tell you that the Broncos are kind of throwing in the towel this year?
It's hilarious. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah. Yeah, it's like your defense is what you can stand on right now.
Right.
And you're going to get rid of one of the biggest pieces of that? Are you serious?
So, because they have, 3 wins? Does that sound right?
3 and 5, right?
And all 3 of those are because of the
defense, man.
defense, absolutely.
Oh, not the quarterback. Well,
Not yet.
Not the quarterback.
Not yet. But regardless, you know what I'm getting at, though. It's
Yeah.
like this isn't a good look. Like, you just got rid of one of your key defensive players on a very good defense.
Yep.
So if you're getting rid of that in that division, that means Chargers and definitely the Chiefs are just salivating right now.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of the Niners in this? Is they just did this? Are they a clear-cut winner just because they didn't really need him because they have
Mitchell will be coming back, right?
Mitchell will be coming back here very soon, I think. By last time I checked, and they gained a pick, and they already had Christian McCaffrey. So
Yep. Yeah, I just hope for their sake that McCaffrey doesn't get hurt. You know, that's where, like, Wilson has been the consistent guy, you know. Everybody else gets hurt, he comes in and plays well, right? Well, now if he's gone, what happens? So that's the only thing. If you put that aside, though, yeah, I'm with you.
Well, that being said, Wilson's also injury prone too. I'm surprised he's made it this long. He usually only plays like a few games, then he's out, and then they go to their third stringer.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I
And
guess they've kind of been lucky. It's been like one of them that gets hurt and somebody else can fill in.
Yeah,
they've always had him.
Well, then they had Mostert too, which was the three. I mean, they
That's
had a
true.
three-way
Yeah.
thing, so everyone was kind of banged up. They never had their full backfield, so you never got to see it, right?
Yeah.
And they all kind of have. I think they're all kind of similar in a lot of ways. They're all quick. You know what I'm saying? Pretty fast, but. And then, of course, what's this mean for Miami, especially in that division?
It's a big deal for Miami.
Or in that conference.
Their secondary's dog shit, especially right now. They've got some injuries and things like that. It's going to be a really big deal. It's going to help those guys out. He's going to be able to get to the quarterback pretty quick. Really big deal for Miami, especially when they get healthy on the defensive side. Yeah.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you on that. 1,000%. I don't know what this Jacob Martin thing is. That means nothing to me. Like,
Not at all.
you gonna sell that to the season ticket holders? I have no idea.
Right.
I'm with you on the Broncos thing. I think they're throwing in the towel, and I think the Niners just won out of that altogether. They just got a draft pick for something they didn't need to help help get some of that back that they gave up for Christian.
Isn't it kind of weird that with everything that's been going on with Melvin Gordon, they didn't get rid of him too?
Right.
Because their whole situation, like, he's been a healthy scratch this year. Like, he literally said he wanted to leave. Like, why not get rid of him too if that's what you're gonna do? Bring in Chase. He's better, like I said anyway. What? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Real quick, because I forgot to put it into my notes. We're gonna touch on it because I just seen it on the sub line here. The Steelers shipped Chase Claypool to the Bears for a second rounder. And then we also had, which also isn't in here because there was so much trade business going on, is that Roquan Smith from the Bears got shipped to the Ravens.
Yep.
What are the Bears doing? Especially when you went and grabbed Claypool after you traded away everything else, every other player.
Yeah, I think my gut tells me they're starting to see the offense click because the last couple weeks they've been decent, right? They beat the shit out of the Patriots. Then did they win this last weekend too? I can't remember. They played really well, and Justin Fields played well too. So maybe they're like, okay, let's get another offensive piece. Which Claypool is a stud, right?
Bears, their offense is okay, but they got obliterated by the Cowboys, 49-29.
Okay, that's.
But they put up the
offense
points.
is playing better though. Yeah. So their offense is playing better. Maybe they're trying to add some pieces because the last couple weeks they've been on a good run, at least on that side. And he wanted out before the season, right? So maybe they were just trying to get pieces for him.
And they weren't quite. Tomlin hasn't, ever since he cost them like a game there, especially that one against the Vikings last year, because of your immaturity. You know, I think it's been kind of something that's been writing on the wall,
well,
right?
Not even just him. What's it, Roquan?
Yep.
For the Bears wanted out too.
Yeah,
Remember
Roquan.
that? So these
Roquan
players,
did, especially when Roquan seen all of his guys going. He got emotional after old boy on the defensive side left too. A couple days before that, but yeah. The Bears, in my opinion, is the exact same as yours, and that is, I think they also needed to show that, hey, we need to get him something so he's not out there. We're stripping it down, but we also need to protect our asset. Chase Claypool is a pretty damn young receiver with an assload of talent. Has the potential to be a number one if he gets his shit straight up here. And then you turn Darnell Mooney into a legit number two. Because Darnell Mooney is a legit number two
He's
all
better
day.
as a 2, yeah,
Yes.
100%.
And then you open that up for him. And then you're technically getting him weapons. But at the end of the day, they are tanking for the number one pick. You don't strip this defense down, which actually has been playing pretty decent throughout the year. You don't strip it completely down to peanuts.
Yeah.
And then the offense, which can be whatever is going on, you know. You don't strip it down unless you're trying to, the Seahawks aren't doing as bad. Atlanta's kind of competing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. We might as well go for one. Like,
That's where they are. I mean, Houston's always going to be that team.
Right.
That
Houston
probably is going to get it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
but
might
even
as well
still,
try.
I mean, even if they're the second pick, then they have some trade bait also. Like, and they can trade back and, like, end up getting some more picks because they have so many fill-ins and obviously so many fillers for the roster that are needed.
Yeah.
People that are quarterback hungry, there's probably going to be 3 coming out. They could trade back and get a bunch of first-round picks in the future for that team starving for that franchise quarterback too. So I think they're trying to position himself for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they want to give up on Fields, right? Like, we don't feel that at all.
God, it's so hard. They're playing better, so it's weird when you start to see him play better. Because the Cowboys did beat the shit out of them, but it wasn't like their offense had 7 touchdowns. They had like a return for a touchdown, fumble recovery for a touchdown, and something else. So they were neck and neck on the offensive side of the ball, which is like the Cowboys' defense is supposed to be best in the league, and the Bears did that to them, right?
Right.
So when you see them playing so well, let's assume they were trying to tank. Are you changing your mind a little bit? Like, shit, do we need to put more pieces here and see what happens? I don't know.
I don't know if a receiver, especially when Fields is so young yet, that I don't know if a receiver is enough to, like, as in a young receiver like that, a young quarterback. This isn't like a plug and play. This isn't an Odell and Aaron Rodgers.
Agreed.
So there's going to be continuity that needs to be built. That isn't going to be built this season. It isn't going to translate to wins this season. This is to build for next year and beyond because Claypool's young, Fields is young, and they're going to get some mass draft capital. And they already have. I mean, our buddy Hiscox put something on Facebook that said, like, exactly how many picks they had. It was like so many, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was more leaning at. But
Yeah.
the AFC Best Bills trade Zach Moss and pick up Colts running back Nyheim Hines. This is kind of what they've been chasing for a while. Remember, they tried to sign who's the dude from I had it in my mind.
From where?
Bad team. That's what I'm trying to think. Bad team. Washington. Jarek.
Jarek McKissick.
McKissick. Yep.
Yeah.
J.D. McKissick. Sorry, J.D. McKissick. McKissick. They offered him a goddamn decent offer during the offseason. He ended up accepting it, but then backing out of it and going back to Washington. So this is kind of that same style of player right there.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit for both teams. I think that's a better backup in Indy for what they run and a better fit for Buffalo. I'm just not a big Hines guy. I think he's too small. I don't really like that. I don't know if it'll do much ultimately for him, but maybe a spot duty kind of thing.
What's this do for Cook then?
That's kind of weird too. I don't fucking
You know what I mean? Like,
because he's been playing well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the play was on this one. Like, you missed out on Christian McCaffrey, so you go for Nyheim Hines.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Probably doesn't hurt necessarily. I don't think it necessarily hurt. It doesn't hurt at all because they weren't using Zach Moss at all. So they got something, I guess. And Nyheim Hines can be a nice rotational back for like pass catching in the back. So if they ever have to come from behind.
Exactly.
Falcons trade suspended Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars in exchange for a 23 fifth-round pick and a 24 conditional fourth-round pick. As a reminder to our viewers, Mr. Calvin Ridley is suspended for the full season for sports gambling.
While he wasn't playing.
And bet on his team to win. But regardless. surprised, or what were your first thoughts on this one?
Yeah, a little bit surprised. They need talent on that offensive side of the ball. I don't know. They might be able to help the Jags. I don't know. I still don't know if the Jags have a true number one, though, even adding him, right?
You're not sold on Calvin Ridley being the number one then?
I don't know.
Or being a number one in general?
He never has been, right?
1 year he did. The 1 year after Julio, yeah. When it was just him.
But it wasn't.
Yeah. I get you. I'm not trying to disagree with you on it. I don't know yet. He was relatively young too, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good receiver, but I don't know if he's number one. So I don't know if it helps the Jags a ton. What's Atlanta doing though?
That's what I'm confused by here. And so two things that scare me here. Falcons, why are you doing it? Because he's a young piece, and I don't get it. He's a very, very athletic wide receiver that can do a lot of things for your team. He's a very, very good wide receiver. He really is. To pair up with Kyle Pitts, right? So this tells me, very first thing on the surface here is that the Falcons may know something more about Calvin Ridley's mental status than anybody else. Kind of scare him away. Get anything for him. So they get a fifth and a conditional fourth for him. Jaguars must not either A, know about it, or B, have confidence that they'll be able to swing it back around. If they do, this is where I differ from you. I think they actually nailed this out of the park. It's kind of worth the gamble. Like, how many draft picks do you really need? Jaguars, you've been doing it forever. Like, at some point, you need to put pieces out there. If Trevor Lawrence is the guy, you need to surround him with weapons, right? You took some of them away or let some of them walk. You're starting to rebuild some of it back. And I think Calvin Ridley's a very nice piece to play with if he's right upstairs. If he is, I believe they have a legit number one, and then those other guys can kind of fall in place. Marvin Jones is kind of, age is caught up with him, so he's not quite the same receiver. But it's one hell of a gamble for the Jags, too. I mean, I understand it's only a fourth and a fifth, but we don't know what's going on with Calvin Ridley upstairs.
Right.
Right? Because the last time we knew he was in a mental institution.
Yeah.
That's when all that happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Getting his stuff checked, so.
The interesting thing for me was before the trade deadline was kiboshed earlier today, I heard rumors about a potential quarterback trade, which involved your guy.
Well, which one?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence.
And your other guy.
Uh-oh.
From the Raiders.
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which actually,
for both.
That's exactly, when I heard that, I was like, that would make a lot of sense for both guys. It didn't end up happening. Here we are, but that would have been perfect, I think.
God, if I were Derek Carr, I just want to just jump off a cliff or something. He's like, can I go a year without being on the trade deadline talk? Like, can my name not get brought up?
Right.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one, I'm with you, though. I think that would have been good for both teams.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, who are making the up and up, the AFC South is not exactly a slam shut door right now. Why wouldn't you try to take the stab at it? And you have weapons. You just need maybe the more veteran version of what you think, if not better, what Trevor will be.
You're very young. How beneficial would it be to have a veteran like Carr, who did what he did last year with that team, that outperformed what they should have done. You know, see if you can do that here, and then get another young guy for a few years.
There's no way they would have done that, though, the Raiders, right? I mean, then you're just pissing Devontae Adams off. Like, hold on, I came here for one reason, dude. Do you think I came to the Raiders to be the Raiders?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that he got paid. They have their coach.
The Packers supposedly offered more. That's what every thing that came out is that they actually.
So the reason he went there was just for Carr, huh?
Yeah. Not the only reason, but I'm just mean they offered him.
Yeah.
If it's the same amount here, and supposedly they offered him more, but we'll say it's even. If it's even, something else wasn't quite right there. Then that was all kinds of reports I saw that Green Bay offered the same or more.
So it was either Carr or he thought Rodgers was going to retire, right?
Right, or he's tired of playing that dumb game about are you retiring every other year? Yeah. And they probably seen how much money he was demanding. I'm like, damn, we're not gonna have any money to I want my money because I'm young. Receivers go a lot quicker than quarterbacks.
Right.
But we're not going to win because me and you are getting paid a mass amount of money, right?
Yeah, you're right. I guess with Devontae, maybe that would piss him off then. But like outside of that, for the quarterbacks, that would have been perfect. But it's too bad it didn't happen, man. I would have loved it.
Have you ever, I'm being dead serious. This isn't being a smartass, right? Have you ever watched Trevor Lawrence throw a football? Seriously?
Yeah.
Like his throwing motion too?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you played the new Madden?
I have not
Maybe
played the
last
new
year's.
Madden.
We'll say last year's because I haven't played this year's yet with my oldest son who has it. My youngest son has last year's. And we played Madden, by the way. I sent you Snapchats to that. And
that was funny.
The old man had to dust it off and beat the bricks off of his oldest son twice. First time was what I tell you. It was the Bills versus
the Jags or the Texans?
No. The first one was relatively comparable.
Oh. No, yeah, the next one was best first worst.
Yeah. The next one was best first worst. Oh, it's my team, blah blah blah. That's what he kept saying. I'm like, no, dude, it's the Indian, not the arrow. But that being said, I swapped her back around. And I'm like, I'll let you pick my team, make the worst team. I'll let you take the best team. He took the Chiefs with the offense, right?
Yep.
I got stuck with. Say it again. You just said it.
Was it the Jags or the Texans? I can't remember.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguars. By rating, were the worst. They're pretty damn close to the worst. There's only 2 or 3 players on that year's roster that had above an 80. All the rest, I'm being dead serious. I tried to scrounge through because sometimes they have a hidden one down there that just doesn't start.
Yep.
Nope. Here's what I'm getting at. Trevor Lawrence's bomb, his like when you're throwing deep, almost gets you sacked half the time on that game. That is not how he throws in real life, right? I'm talking about like the windup goes like this. It looks like old Tim Tebow.
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
like a slingshot like that. I'm like, what are we doing right now? That is not how this man throws.
No, I think he's got a pretty ball. For sure.
But I mean, it doesn't say you don't see a mass windup, do you?
Yeah, not that bad. No.
I'm like, geez. I think we're over exaggerating. Still beat the bricks off him by like 20, 30 points, whatever it was.
Not bad.
You know,
Dust it off.
Let's get to the biggest one though. The biggest one for us. The Lions trade their tight end T.J. Hawkinson to our NFC North rival Vikings, as tight end Irv Smith Jr. suffered a high ankle sprain against the Cardinals and is expected to miss 8 to 10 weeks. Now, the details of it were what, a second rounder the Vikings are giving up and a fourth?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a fifth. Maybe it's fourth.
Maybe it's a fourth coming back. But
either way, yeah. And then we got like 2. No, I think we had 2 fourths back.
Yeah.
We got 2 fourths back. They got a second and whatever. It doesn't matter. Second round pick. Just think about it like that. I think it was second and fifth. What I'm getting at though, no, for some reason I feel like a second and third, because I was like the 4s cancel it out. Either way, god damn it. Either way, regardless.
Doesn't matter, but
I'm having my moment over here. I'm like, God, I read this like 7 times. Which one? But regardless, your initial thoughts when you first saw this?
I'm jacked, baby. I love it for the Vikings. Tight end out of tight end U is always nice.
Yes.
The
University of Iowa, just in case you're confused.
That's right. From Iowa Hawkeye Land.
Yeah.
And I think he's a way better tight end than they've been using them the last couple of years. So I'm fucking jacked. I think it's going to be great. Big Irv's hurt, which is unfortunate, but he also hasn't lived up to what we thought he was going to do. Right.
Not fully. And then when he started getting it correct, he ended up getting injured, like he also has been since he's been here. Right.
Yeah.
So I was jacked, and I am jacked. I'm also going to throw some stuff at you quick here. Number one, the only thing that worries me about this, literally the only thing, is Kirk is very hot and cold with his tight ends anyway, and this is over his whole career. This isn't just recently. His very first year with Kyle Rudolph, there was plenty of video and all that, him saying, oh, man, it's like throwing in a big mattress. He has a nice hands, just boom. He barely used Kyle Rudolph. Barely did. That's what makes me a little nervous in this aspect. So, but as in number of balls he's going to get. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know if we can even think about like 6-7 consistent catches every week. I hope that's the case. I hope it is.
He was forcing that much to Big Irv.
He was
So
in
we'll
the
see.
first few. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. A few things that came into mind, though, and that is T.J. Hawkinson will be entering his 5th year. Now, one thing I haven't double-checked yet is I'm going to venture a guess that the Lions picked up his 5th-year option when he was still there, because you had to have done it if you were going to do it. You would have already had to do it. I don't know if they have.
I'll look it up while you're talking. Keep going.
If they did, Irv Smith this is his 3rd season. Next year, they will have to make the decision on whether they pick up his 5th-year option, as he was a first rounder, right? Or was he a second?
Was it early second?
All right. This is where you need to study up, guys. This is my bad. Smith draft. I'll do Irv Smith.
Yeah, they picked up his. Yep. He's in the 4th year of his rookie deal.
2nd round. So his isn't even in. So next year is his final year. Irv Smith's under current contract.
Yep.
And what'd you say? They did pick up his 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So this
So
puts me
through
right back.
2023. Yep.
So this brings me back all the way to mine. This could be they picked up his 5th year. They're going to play with these 2 tight ends next season. They're both under contract next year. This is a tryout for both of them. Who's going to get the tight end paid contract? This year, obviously, Irv Smith, whatever done. Next year, he has one more under his belt to play with the Vikings. And then they have T.J. Hawkinson, who will be under his 5th. That's the reason why this is also intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Because they had to do it because they're already light on tight end anyways. You lose Irv Smith, you don't have another tight end. You have Munt, who they picked up in the offseason, who isn't playing bad.
Teddy. Yeah.
Yep. But I just thought that was going to be interesting. I think we're going to see one hell of a battle next year between them to try to at least boost their own stock or stay with the team in general. I'm trying to keep my level of the Vikings down here, okay? And why is that?
It's because when we get our hopes up, they squash our hopes, man. They kill us.
Right. I'm trying to keep it down there so that the fall isn't so hard.
Yeah.
Right? But, man, this looks so sexy on paper. This is an upgrade from Irv Smith in the reception department.
As far as I'm concerned, it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything from Irv Smith that even resembles what Hawkinson can do. So maybe there's potential there that we haven't seen, but we haven't seen it.
Right, we haven't seen it yet.
So
I'm not really concerned with draft picks. I had a guy ask me at work. He's like, "Are you concerned?" Well, you can't have draft picks. I'm like, I'm starting to think my man Kwefe. Is that his name? Kwefe?
yeah, it's pretty close.
Kwese? Something like that.
Kese? Yeah, there's an
something like
S.
that.
Yeah.
I think he can just materialize draft picks. I think he can get them anywhere. As in, like, he knows how to wheel and deal to try to get his draft capital back up. I don't think he's worried about that. So I'm not going to worry as much about that 2nd round pick, even though I did tell you, and I still stick by that. I'm huge on 2nd round draft picks. But on this one, I'm gonna try to have trust in my GM that I believe is going to be a young stud and a stud for a long time for our organization. So I'm gonna believe that he'll be able to get that back. I am excited that we have an Iowa Hawkeye at tight end with our favorite NFL team, though.
Hell yes.
Yeah. 2nd best one.
We talked about this when the Jets picked up James Robinson. No matter how good they've been lately, this year they think they can win now, right?
Yeah.
So they had to get him right away.
Yeah.
Vikings, same boat. Yeah. Tight end's hurt. We need a tight end. Let's go. Let's get one of the better ones. And he's by far the best one that would have been available, right?
Yeah.
So
all these teams that believe they have a shot, everybody's making ridiculous trades. The Eagles made trades, they made.
Yeah, God damn it. Yeah, they did.
They brought who'd they bring in? Pass rusher.
Yeah, the fucking.
Oh man, we're not on.
The fuck! I just remember being pissed and I blocked it from my memory, man.
Yeah. Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Oh yeah, that was part of what the Bears fucking decided to do.
Yeah, it does. Shouldn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about them dismantling of the Bears. Yeah. And the Bears they're picking up the remaining of Robert Quinn's salary, so the Eagles didn't even have to pay for that fucking player.
Yeah.
So all these players, all these teams that believe they have a legit shot, are making deals like that. I thought we'd go on the defensive side before anything else, but the Irv Smith one might have thrown a little curveball in there, right? Like with the injury, I mean.
Yeah.
I think that kind of
sure.
fast-tracked it. I didn't know Hawkinson would be on the market, though. So does that tell you that they're sold on Jared Goff being the quarterback? Like, why would you trade an asset like that away if he isn't the guy? You would just think that the next quarterback you bring in, young quarterback, would.
How many games have the Lions won this year?
1, right?
They started off competitive.
Yep.
And now it's starting to fall away.
Yep.
And now GM ownership is starting to see there's quarterbacks coming up. We could get one of those top 2-3 guys.
Yep. Need assets, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. We have Deion Sanders bans his team from leaving the hotel after rapper's death. I do not know if you've seen this. This Takeoff 28 or rapper Takeoff
From the Migos or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
Was shot and killed at a bowling alley Tuesday morning, basically over a dice game. Was murdered in a dice game in Houston.
Sucks. It sucks when you got to worry about your team like that. I think it's the right move though. If that shit's going on, got to keep your team safe. So.
Yeah. 1/3 Amigos. Oh, I didn't know that's part of. You're right. Offset, Quavo. Okay. I honestly didn't know that they were.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I knew the other two.
No, I learned this shit today. I didn't recognize his name at all.
Right. I don't know. I would say I didn't know his. Joined. Okay. I didn't know if there was anything more about like what happened there. Quavo was there with him.
Really?
But yeah, at the bowling alley. 2:30 in the morning. Nothing ever happens that good that late. That's what it was. Yeah, kudos to Deion, especially today in today's like type of society. Some people might have. Even with his, you can't tell young people what to do. That's kind of like the thing that would happen. But kudos to you to looking out for your team.
Totally agree, man.
Adam Zimmer, son of former Vikings coach Mike Zimmer, passes away at 38. The cause of death is unknown at this time.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. That's sad. No details on what happened yet, which is weird. But
no, he was only 38. He was the linebackers coach for a few years with the Vikings. He worked his way up to a co-defensive coordinator, if you remember that.
No, where was he? Cincy?
Now he was with Cincy as a offensive analyst.
Okay. Yep.
Just surprising and sad. I don't know if Mike Zimmer after all that stuff came out, I don't know. Mike Zimmer kind of my level of liking him went down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But this dude has like the worst luck in the world. He really does. Like now I'm coming back up. Cause you remember like what his wife, his own thing with his eye and his own health, and and now his son. I mean, there was plenty of other things I'm missing right now. But there's I'm like, Jesus, can you do anything more? It's like what? It's like Thor. Nobody's allowed to live and be around him, right?
Right. Such bad luck, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But that's what I got, sir.
All right, hold on. Michigan State. Tell me you saw this.
Yes, I know where you're going.
Holy shit.
The video, right? I assume. I seen that, and I watched this multiple times. This is the scuffle in the old school stadium like that. They have to go down the same tunnel.
Yeah.
I was sitting there looking and looking and looking. Where the hell were the rest of the Wolverine players? I seen one Wolverine.
No. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the before thing, right?
No.
There was some shit talking and stuff on the field first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think another guy followed him, but then this guy that got shit rocked decides to hop around, and he's looking for the guy that he was just talking to in the middle of white jerseys. He's hopping around looking, trying to start something with him going into the tunnel.
Oh.
And then that's when the outside camera you can't see anymore, and all of a sudden you got the inside one. But yeah, he made the move himself to go in there to start shit, and then the Michigan State guys just defended each other. And the video's bad. It's
video looks bad. This is part of that perspective, though. We talked about the Devontae Adams one, right?
Yeah, but he went in there looking for trouble. Yeah, so that.
Well, in that case,
sucks.
I don't feel bad at all. I'm seeing all these people sitting there fight for. They'll be like, oh, they need to be prosecuted. I'm like, first off, they're young men. Let's calm down. The dude isn't gushing blood everywhere. He'll be just fine.
Yep. He got beat up.
It's like, well, you should have went up in there then.
Yep. 100%.
Honestly, I didn't know it went like that. I thought he just kind of got
mauled
you
can see
afterwards.
Him, he's hopping around. He's looking for the guy, and then he eventually gets more and more in the middle of the white. And I'm like,
and they're finally
what are you
just like,
doing?
Yeah, finally
and then
they're just
in
like,
the
get the hell out of
and,
here.
Yeah, yep. And then it's all of a sudden you see him just getting beat up by a bunch of dudes, which is like, I mean, if the same thing happened and one guy went into the Michigan locker room and was trying to fuck with somebody, they'd get beat up too.
Yeah.
It would just happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Your guys are defending each other, and it's a bad look, but that's on him, man. He shouldn't have kept going.
Right. So you're not on the Michigan State, anyone should be getting in trouble type of thing, right? Because they kind of kicked it. Like, it looks bad and everything, but what I saw, I'm like, yes, of course they all kind of did a little attack, but it unless I missed parts of this, Danny, in the actual, all I seen was this part right here. I think he got whacked once, and then he got, like, shoved a few times, and then, like, basically almost, like, kicked right out. Like, I think he got his shit yanked like that. I didn't see that many punches going towards him.
No, it wasn't.
He was
that
getting
bad.
slammed around, like, body. Like, that's what I'm getting at, right?
They could have been taking helmets and beating him up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it could have been much
absolutely.
worse. It wasn't.
Like,
It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. And he came in and instigated it. So
well, it'd be no different if we're in the tunnel of football or something like that. Someone comes up and then they start shoving and shit like that.
you're like, hold on.
Exactly. It's like, are you lost, friend?
Right. Right.
That is not what's going to happen. I'm
Right.
sorry. Oh, then don't put a fucking camera in there, like.
Right.
And then the one dude, did you see that in the background? It's like one Michigan, like, I don't know if it was like a trainer or someone with the staff or whatever, but that's it. And he just kind of like tucks back a little bit and like, oh shit. And doesn't come in and try to separate anything.
Right.
And then waits till he kind of gets like booted out of there, as in the player. And then he comes up and kind of grabs him up and everything. He's like, yeah, we were really going to get the ass.
Stop it.
I did see that. That was insane. Yeah.
Terrible. You got any weird laws tonight?
I definitely can. Let's see. Ain't gonna rain no more. That one's we can touch on yeah. Corny little ones at the end of Tennessee. We can start Texas up here though.
Texas. I like it. It's good timing for Texas.
Okay, this one's kind of weird. A city in Texas ordinance states that a person cannot go barefoot without first obtaining a special $5 permit.
5 bones to walk in the all-natural bare feet, huh? Damn.
What's the purpose of that? Just any way to kind of get a buck or what?
Yeah, I can't even. Some of these laws you can kind of figure, okay, this might have been what happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't make
And
any damn sense.
ones that are just kind of still in there,
Right.
like from a way outdated version. But I had no point. I don't understand the. See, I thought at first when I was first reading it, that's the reason why I was pausing for a second. I thought it'd be something because, like, hey, to prevent like fire ants and stuff. That's a
Oh,
big thing down there,
yep.
right? Not getting attacked or rattlesnakes. Supposed to be covered up or.
Fuck all that. Yeah.
But yeah, nope. You can do it if you have $5.
No. 5 bones. Is it a year? Do we know what the...
Yeah, I don't see a time frame
wonder.
on this. I don't know how
Huh.
long that $5. I don't know if it's one of those ones that they just write on a like chicken scratch on a piece of paper and say, "Here's your permit."
Right.
Lasts as long as I'm standing here, and then next one down.
No shit. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
So, weird law. Do you have any more stories about your corn-eating friend?
Let's see. So I did hear one. Okay. Yep. Makes sense if you don't think about it. The new employee that I have talked about 3 times now, I think.
Yep.
I almost need to give him like a short name or something. Not his real name or something like that. I got to think.
Timmy.
What's the name of what's the Kick and Wing. What's it? Yeah, what's his name from Joe Dirt? The fire salesman.
The Native American guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it that?
Yeah, well that's his nickname Joe Dirt gives him, but he says something else.
Yeah.
We'll just say Kick and Wing. That's what we'll do. We'll say Kick and Wing. Okay. So Kick and Wing here. So last night, he's running the bagger in one of our rooms there. Now, along our bagger, you have the product that comes in, fills the bag, clinches the bag tight, and then it gets kicked out and goes onto a conveyor that has a sealer on it, right? And it seals the bag. So it's like a glue on top, and the sealer has heat, whatever.
Yep.
So it goes down that after it's done, and then it goes onto a much smaller conveyor, and then a kicker kicks the bag like that, so that goes onto another conveyor that eventually gets to a robot, right? That's all I'm talking about, just going like this. So on the one after the kicker, this conveyor after that, there's a uphill climb, and this is kind of a dual one. So what it is there's a conveyor that carries the bag, but then there's one on top that if you want to raise or lower this thing, you can smash the bag down, or you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's kind of like a bag smasher.
Yeah. Usually
you don't want that regardless. So on this, for protective equipment, there's a cord that goes all the way around the top layer of that conveyor, of the top one. So if you're not paying attention, if a bag gets kicked onto this bottom conveyor and it doesn't go down flat and it stands up, it can run into this cord, and then it's going to hit an E-stop, and it's going to shut everything down so it doesn't get like jammed up and all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's an E-stop. Little pressure switch. Kind of hit this and hit this cord anywhere, and it'll just stop.
Okay.
Mind you, this piece of equipment, or that cord and that E-stop, there's a reset on there. It says, reset back or whatever. It's faulted. It says E-stop. Okay? Remember that.
Okay.
It says E-stop. Last night, they're going all right, Must be bored, though. Must be going pretty good in there. The packaging and everything just stops. Just shuts down. What the hell? And the experienced operators go over there. They start looking around. What the hell? He's like, well, it was fine until I was, I kind of messed with this thing right here. And it was that cord that is attached to a pin. Because the pin is supposed to, like extreme pressure on it. I do believe it's supposed to, snap it off. It's supposed to,
Oh, my God.
He took that out because he didn't know what it was for. He's like, they're like, why were you fucking with it? Well, I didn't know what it's for. This is why it's running. This whole thing is running. There's also a big yellow cage on the outside to prevent you from sticking your arms in this thing anyways. Big old yellow cage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you kind of got to go out of your way to mess with it. Right? To mess with the cord itself.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay?
Dude.
They ask him why. I didn't know what it was for. That's why. But then, what the fuck do you mean you didn't know what it was for? It says E-stop right there. Well, yeah, I didn't see that. Now, granted, to mess with it, the E-stop is right there. The words are right there. Okay? Gets better. They're like, fine, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty stupid of you, but where's the pin? We can fix this real quick, we're trying to get this done. Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You just said that you messed with it and you broke it off when you did it. What do you mean you don't know where it's at? No, I don't know. I don't know where it's at. This isn't a normal little piece of equipment. This isn't something you replace. I've never seen this thing worked on. Let's put it that way. That's how long it's been there, and it just does its job, right? That's not very highly sophisticated. So you don't carry a bunch of moving parts for this. You may have a belt or a roller maybe replacement in-house. Do you think you have a damn pin that holds a cable?
Oh, my God, dude.
They had knobble some stuff together, kebab it and twist and whatever just to make it through. This thing is right now being held together, and you have to have a certain amount of pressure on it, otherwise it's going to pop. Being cobbled together with, I don't know, paper clips and some other shit to try to make it through. And it could be just one thing that could, after running so long, this thing could just start giving because there's movement.
Right.
So it could be screwing somebody else on the road. All because I didn't know what it did.
Damn, that definitely makes sense if you don't think about it.
Right. That being said, I think you're starting to see a little bit of a track record here, right? Like I told him about the corn, and then he decided to still eat the corn. And then spit it out and say it was awful, even though I clearly said that.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a toddler. You know, don't press the button. Or Baby Groot.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
this button.
Yep.
This switch, this button. No! Death button right here. Okay. Words of wisdom. There is an old saying that says curiosity killed the cat. Right? If you have no idea, especially if you have to reach around a barrier to touch something, just keep your damn hands off of it.
100%.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? I didn't know what it was for. Is that what you would do? You just reach your hand up in something? And by the way, everything is running, by the way, too. It isn't like everything was stopped and you're just doinking around.
No, I don't think that's what I would
You
do.
don't think you'd do that?
No. Especially if it's like behind some shit and you're going to have to work to get in there anyway. Like,
Well,
why are you worried about it?
Right. There's 3 other people in the room. You couldn't ask one of them what that's for? You had to go mess with it?
That's wild. I bet those other gentlemen were pissed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, then you have to explain it, too. And that's a dumbass reason to be down. Like, that's what you're going to have to explain. And then you know that you're flirting with disaster because it's not really properly fixed. You don't have it. It could literally go out. If it goes out, it shuts, like I said, everything down. You could be mid-fill of a bag of product, 55 pounds of product. Could end up dumping out, everything just release.
Dude.
All over something silly like that because you were fucking around.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanted to work a couple extra days this week, so it's fine. Like actually
oh,
work.
no. We
like
just,
actually work.
Oh, I would, except for the fact that they still be no, we're just in a... We can't mess with Project Fridays, Danny. That's a Project Fridays. What about Production Fridays?
We don't say that word. Project Fridays, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, that would be remind me of that one down the future too here.
Okay.
About saving money because we're broke versus still pumping out money because we have a bunch of projects that need to be done.
I smell and it makes sense. Smells good.
Yeah.
Well, let's start to get out of here, man. You beautiful people out there. If you happen to find the podcast anywhere out there on the interwebs, be sure to like, subscribe, share, the whole 9 yards. We would love the support. But speaking of that, where's the podcast available?
Anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
100%, ladies and gentlemen. And if you would like us to tell a story that you've got out there, we love to tell stories. That's our second favorite thing besides talk sports. But if they've got a story, Jimmer, what should they do?
Hit us up in our DMs. Any one of our socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I know my man over here is a big old Instagram guy. He likes to get up on there. So hit us up in there. Tell a story. Don't have to have any names in it if you don't want to. Do or don't. Let us know. But all it's got to do is be a very real story. Funny, not funny, anything in between.
Absolutely. And, you know, some of you out there that have been using Fitbod, that's right, the app Fitbod, to get in shape, need to slide into the DMs to let us know how it's going, okay?
Yeah.
Give us the stories. I know there's going to be some good shit out there, some interesting stuff. Slide in, tell us how it's going, because I know you used code 3GIG for how much, Jimmer?
25% off.
That's right. We help you save money. You guys get in shape. Now tell us some stories. Let's see what's going on out there. You getting stronger? You getting better shape? What is really going on?
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3GIG Sports. We out.